Hello there! Chatbots and voice assistants are one of the most important tools in today's and especially in tomorrow's world. But who are the people behind it, the people that make them work, the conversation designers? Today we have a special guest from Madrid, a native Colombian, Lorena Restrepo from EVO Banco in Spain. How are you, Lorena?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. So let's start. How did you come to conversation design?
Yeah, so I actually got in conversation design by accident, happy accident. I'm a creative copywriter, so I don't have any tech background. My journey started like 5 years ago in Colombia in an ad agency that's called Ogilvy. I made campaigns for brands like Coca-Cola, Huggies, Ubikotics, and it was like really fun. It was like a really collaborative place, full of great creative people, really brilliant. And in this period, I understand the power of brands and how a message can impact in humans, in people's behavior and transform cultures. So I really like this idea of how brands can impact positively in societies. So I moved here to Spain. I live in Madrid. And I started a master in brand management. While I was studying, I started working in a media agency called Omnicom. So I have like this creative background, like a content background. And while I was there, 2020 started, and I have this really rare and unique opportunity to work for the Lion, that is a digital studio and technology lab. They are experts in UX, UI, and VUI design, and they contacted me and told me they were looking for a copywriter to work with EVO, the bank. It's a Spanish digital bank. It's like super cool. It's really disruptive and innovative bank. And they needed someone to write the dialogues of EVO Assistant. That is actually the first bank voice assistant in Spanish. So it sounds like really cool, really pretty sweet. And I said, yeah, I think that coming into conversation design, I could mix all the things I love, that are the brand experience, the creative, and the copywriting. So I'm like super happy to be here. It's like an awesome industry. So yeah, if you're a copywriter and you really like this impact of messages and how your designs can change people's behaviors and have like a better life, or help them to have a better life, I think conversation design is for you. So yeah, I'm really happy.
We're all for it. Definitely, we think that it can change people's life for the better. But you're working in again, you said EVO, which is a digital bank. What
Yeah.
is the biggest challenge when working for, especially in banking industry and conversation design?
Yeah, I think financial, right? It's like a really complex place to be. Even if human interaction is really complex. So I think especially for banking voice assistant, like the biggest challenge is to fulfill user expectations, because people have so many types and they're having like a lot of problems, and they have this specific context. So they want to know why their account doesn't work or what happened to their money. It's not like this generic answer, right? It's like their specific context. So fulfilling those specific needs, don't go into errors or deviating the conversations is really, I think it's like the biggest challenge, because technology also, we are like in this relationship between designs and technology. So right now the technology is not like, it's like in a really great place, right? But I think there's a lot of things that are missing, and fulfilling those user expectations and their needs, I think it's like the biggest challenge, especially for complex ecosystem like banking or even health, right? Like in health, I think they're having like this same problem. So yeah, I think that's the biggest challenge.
Okay, and how can you use conversational AI to build trust between the bank and its customers?
Yeah, I really like this question. And we are like always thinking about that. It's like one of the biggest issues I think we have also in the banking is the trust. But in order to do it, I think transparency and honest is like the best way to achieve, especially like in the design part that I'm in. So if something fails, don't be afraid to explain the reason, right? Finance is like a really sensitive area. So you need to be very careful about when you're specifically asking personal information. So if you're asking the user the data, you have to explain why you're asking the data, be really honest, and tell them what they're gonna get when you give, if they give you the data, the positive thing, you know, that where the user is going to receive for them to train their data. So what me and the team always try to do is like create this helpful and clear flow, so the user always feels that he's in control of the situation, is in control of the conversation. So for example, don't assume what the user wants, right? If he has two accounts and he's trying to know to know the number of their account, don't assume the first account you want. Ask him or she, what account do you want, and give them the number. So the user always feels that he is the one that is driving the conversation, right? You don't let them decide what they want to do and what are the next steps. Another thing for building trust, I think it's for design, like I'm just going in like design tips. It's with confirmations. So if the user want, if you're especially like in like important operations, so like transactions or canceling a product, you always needs to confirm this information. So the user knows that they are in the same path with you. They know that we are understanding and they are with us in the same path. So yeah, these are like little things that I would say to build trust, but I think there's a lot more. But yeah, I think honesty, don't assume. So disambiguate, give the control to the user always, and confirmations. But be careful with confirmation because it can be really robotic. So just confirms what is necessary, not the important things.
After reviewing so much logs, probably, what is the most important thing for a chatbot, in your opinion?
Oh, well, I think like there are a lot of things, right? Like context and understanding the intent, but I was thinking a lot of like in these past few days about exactly that. What is like the most important thing, and I think that is essential that no matter the chatbot or voice assistant that is EVO in the case, is to have to give him or she or they or it a persona, right? Because if you don't give this chatbot or voice assistant a persona, the user is going to give it, because it's something called like anthropomorphism, right? I don't know if I'm saying it right, anthropomorphism.
Anthropomorphization, I think, maybe, but
Yeah.
it's such a long word. We just, by the way, in Hebrew,
Yeah.
Hebrew it's ha'anasha. It's from the word person, which is ben enosh, like that. So
Yeah.
you can say ha'anasha. It's shorter.
Hand the shark.
Ha'anasha.
I like it. I like it better than the shark.
Okay.
So yeah, for this specific word, I think because humans tend to give living and not living personalities, right? Because we have this instinct to survive, and so we relate with everything that surrounds us. So we don't. So if we see something like an object that we don't understand or don't identify, we give them like this personality, so we know if it's dangerous, if we can relate to, because that's how we relate to the world, right? We are social beings, so we're always building conversation with everything that around, like that is around us. So if you don't give your chatbot a persona, the user is going to give it, and that can be like really not good for your brand or for your use case, right? So always keep in mind that your assistant should mirror the image of your brand or your company, and it should share the values of your company. So what we did when we designed EVO Assistant Persona was, first we talked with the marketing team at EVO. We watched EVO's social media, their mailings, their ads, and based on all of this brand research, we create these persona guidelines. So in this document, we just write the EVO Assistant personality traits, how the assistant behaves, depending on the situation, some do's and don'ts. And after we have all these document written, we share it with the team, with the whole team. So every time someone needs to design dialogues and prompts, they know how EVO Assistant talks, and more important, how it doesn't talk. Because a consistent persona is crucial, especially in finance. It's very important that the user always feels that it's talking to the same person, so they can trust us. a topic that is like really sensitive as we talk about the trust. So yeah, I think a consistent persona is not just writing like a template and we see this is Anna, she's this age and she's cool. No, it's just like understanding really how the brand that your assistant is part of, and understanding your users, and then you mix these things up and you create like a really extensive document that you can share, and everyone is like in the same boat and they are writing like the same prompts and they're having like this yeah, it's like this same conversation mind for I don't know if to put it. For example, in Spanish we have two forms of talking. You have usted, that is when you say something formal, so you say usted is like formal, and you say tú, that is tú eres, so it's like this informal way of talking. So imagine if you're talking to me and suddenly I say, usted es genial y tú eres increíble. So it's like really weird to just to hear it, right? And you, if you don't know how I'm going to react next, how I'm going to talk next, you are not going to trust me. If I'm like this schizophrenic user bot, you have this schizophrenic bot that is talking like super formal and then informal and then super happy and sad, it's like really, really weird. And that happens sometimes because the team that are designing are like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 persons. So you really think that, I mean, I think it's really important to have this consistent persona, and you have to project the values that you want through your chatbots, and you do that through a persona. So yeah, I think
That's a
that
great answer.
summarizes.
That's a great answer. We also believe that every chatbot needs to have a personality. Otherwise, it feels like just that talking with you in IVR or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going to work. I assume that this is also the chatbot that you're most proud of, the EVO one.
Yeah, it was this time. I actually have 2 projects I'm really proud of. The first is EVO Assistant. I'm super proud to be working in this project because people are so talented, uh, and I really believe like the brand values they have, that is to make like life easier for the user, right? So especially in banking, I believe like if people have a healthy relationship with their money, they're going to have a better life, right? So I think through EVO Assistant, we are trying to be honest about their banking relationship that is a little bit damaged right now. And I think with knowledge and sharing what is important about their accounts, like how to get a mortgage, explaining complex concepts, or just showing how invest their money, I think that empowers people and can transform their lives, right? So I really believe in this project. I'm super proud to be part of. But there's another project that I'm really proud of, and it's actually was my first I would say conversational personal project. It's a chatbot and it's called PrideBot. And I designed it last year in June during the Pride Month. And I did it because I wanted to help people understand and break taboos about gender identity and sexual preference. Because I think discussing taboo topics or complex topics like the banking topics in an open and not judgmental way can help people live more happily, or at least like more chill about themselves, right? So I really like these 2 projects because I think, or I want to believe, I'm helping people, right, through conversations. So yeah, I'm really proud of these 2.
Okay. What is a tip or advice you can give to aspiring conversation designers that want to enter this field, maybe not by accident?
Yeah. Well, I would say like, as I was talking about, like the Pride book, it really helped me a lot about understanding my skills and what I should or shouldn't do as a designer. So first tip, I have to actually. First tip, I would say to create your own chatbot or skill or whatever you like. I assure you, you will learn a lot about your like what's talking about the skills or what you like about the field. Just think of a cool use case and just do it. Just start now, like now. And also, if you're not really sure about your work, or you're having like a insecure feelings because maybe you're just starting recently, I would say join the community. So everyone is super helpful. It's like a really awesome community. There's a lot of free webinars and workshops you can find and get inspired by. So for example, in LinkedIn, I follow Voice Launch, I follow Voice Global, I follow Coco Hub, of course. I'm not kidding, you have really good resources. So thank you very much. It's a really cool. Also, the hashtag free voice events is really great. A friend of mine that is been in the field for a while, they recommend me this book, the Catchy Parrot book. I'm doing a little of, yeah, it's awesome. I really like it. Has great design principles for user interface, voice user interface. And I mean, like the tech industry is going really fast, right? Change always, every day. So it's really important to refresh your concept and you know what is going on. I think that is a way to kill the imposter syndrome for some time because it appears again. But I think it's really cool to be like updated. So I think there are a lot of resources you can follow. So yeah, do your project, do your chatbot or whatever, and stay updated. That's what I say.
What's the funniest or the most awkward, strange thing that happened to you while reviewing these logs, designing these bots?
Okay, there's a lot of stories, right? I mean, conversation takes a lot of like weird turns, and naturally there's a lot of awkwardness. But there, I have one example. Maybe it's not funny or awkward, but this example helped me realize the importance of putting the you in the VUI. So it's like designing with empathy. So one of my tasks when I started at EVO was to redesign some of the flows they already had. So one of them I was testing this flow, the account movements flow. And I noticed that if a user asks, like, tell me my last movements, and they haven't made any movement in the last month, the assistant say this phrase. It will say, I'm sorry, I couldn't find any movements in your account. Okay, so okay, I'm sorry, you don't have movements. That's it. So I was like thinking about this response and I realized like, why are we apologizing? Maybe the user was trying to save money, right? So it was like an accomplishment. Like, yeah, you didn't do any movements. That's super cool, man. Or maybe it sounded like it was a system error. So maybe you have made movements, you have spent money, but I couldn't find it. So I'm sorry because it's a system error. So it was like a really weird response. It was like super, I don't know. I think it was designed, center design, right? It was designed for someone that you said we have to apologize. We didn't find any. And this example helped me understand the importance to write prompts and flows and designing, thinking of all type of users and their specific contexts, right? So their context is physical context, where is the user, the emotional, how he's feeling, what is happening in their life, and this conversational context, that is what we're talking about, is the same what we're talking now. So all of these things help, like this little example, like help me realize these things. So I would want to share it because I think it's really important.
It really is. And you said you're working for EVO Banco, which is the first digital bank in Spain. How disruptive it is? What's the difference between this bank and the other banks in Spain?
So, yeah, so they have like this traditional, of course, they have all the traditional parts of banks, because they're like a robust bank, a structured bank, but they have like these, all of these cool features, like they have like a lab, user lab. So they let people tell them what they want in their accounts. So it's like this, always changing their app, and they're always changing the ecosystem so the user feels like it's part of their life. So yeah, they're like always renovating their products so the user feels like it's more to them, it's like more personalized, and they hear what the people want. So I think they just won an award for that. They won an award for most innovative app and digital bank. So it was really cool because they are doing it and they're like leading the way of other banks to join this digital revolution, first, so to speak. After the COVID, I think they got a lot of new users. So I was talking about with them and I tell them no CEO or no, not all of these great titles none of these people could digital transform the world like COVID did, right? So after the COVID, I think EVO gained a lot of users, and people started to see the value they gave, that is this digital and like more approachable way to the banking and to the and their finances. So I think that's one of the things that differentiate for the other banks.
Okay, it was fascinating. It was great to hear from you. A lot of great insights that I'll definitely keep and share. And Lorena Restrepo from EVO Banco in Madrid, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you so much, Eran. I think I wanted to say something.
Okay.
I was like watching all of your interviews because I'm like this voice geek. I really like all of this voice world that is open up for me, and I am super happy to be in this industry. If it's an industry, I don't know. But I was seeing all of your interviews, and I think I would like you to implement a new question, and is how people, like all of these gurus, how they see the future in voice, right? How are they, what is going to happen in the future, like how they visualize future in voice. So I would really like to know, and I don't know if you have any thoughts, but I believe you have a lot of thoughts about the topic, but I really like to see, to you implementing this question, please. I would really be happy to know.
Not only that I will do it, we will also answer it for you. So for me, for us, the future of voice is actually face first. We really believe that like connecting chatbots to digital avatars can be even more personalized, even more fun, even more engaging, even more persona for chatbots. And that's why we believe that this will be the year of the face first and not only voice first.
Nice.
But I will definitely use this question. So you're the first contributor to the Taking Turns Bank of Questions.
Yay.
And this is, another achievement for you. Lorena, thank you very much again.
Thank you very much.
And for everybody watching, you can go to cocohub.ai, where we bring chatbots to life and give you all the tools, the knowledge, and the resources to build your own chatbot with persona, as Lorena said, because it's very important. Thank you again, and have a great day.
Thank you so much.